So today is our fourth class in this series of 5. So we're going to do a little bit of review, and we're going to do some experiences today and some healing work. So if there's anything you're wanting from me or you don't understand for next time, you can email me or you can call or you can just speak it during the class today, and we'll try and address it either today or next time. So I think we'll start with a little bit of a review, and then we'll go into the remembrance practice. And I'm going to add a little something with the remembrance practice this morning, where we're going to do some qualities to clean our senses. And some of you have done this before, and some of you haven't, but we're going to add that. So I wanted to just review kind of what we've gone through so far. So we've got the remembrance, which is chanting Allah and going deeper and deeper into the heart, kind of opening to developing and having a closeness, a nearness with Allah. And I would highly recommend that that's a practice that you do daily, even if you have 10 minutes, whatever you have, to keep developing that practice. Because we're going to be using that when we do the healing work. And the more you develop that consistent, predictable connection with Allah, the more you can learn, the more you can open to the light, the more cleaning, the more nearness to Allah. Then the second practice we did was the Tawbah, which is about cleaning anything that takes you off of Allah, anything that you're carrying in your heart, any kind of past illusions, memories, painful experiences, anything that takes you away from looking at Allah. And the Tawbah practice is the Astaghfirullah al-Azim, and just repeating it in the heart until your heart quiets and shifts and returns to the peace. And the Tawbah practice is about purifying and dissolving the veils, the layers, whatever we're carrying in our heart that takes us off. And then we looked at the qualities, the divine names, which are really the ways that we come to know God in all of the multiplicity of all of the flavors of Allah, the trust, the love, the protection, the strength, all the different qualities. And then last week we began the zikr of La ilaha illallah, which I'll go into maybe a little more depth later today, which is kind of a strengthening that we're only focusing on God. We only want our information from God. We only want to see, hear, feel, know through Allah. And then the other thing we went over, and we'll go over a little bit in more depth today, are the du'as, the prayers of the deep heart, which we can use over and over and over again to help us with our healing, to help us with guidance, to help us understand things, to help open, to help illuminate. So we're going to talk more today about du'as and some examples. Just a second, I'm going to unplug my phone. Okay. So let's begin with our remembrance today. So we'll start with the Fatiha, the opening prayer, and I'm going to mute you. I guess you're muted. Okay. So we're going to start with the Fatiha, opening us into the light of God. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillah rahman rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. So just opening to the light, receiving, merging with the light, closing your eyes to the outer world, opening your eyes to the inner world. And with each chanting of Allah or breathing or thinking Allah, we let the light take us deeper and deeper in our heart, in closer and closer proximity to Allah. Letting the light wash, clean, open anything in the way, and just following, allowing, receiving everything that God is sending you in every moment. The remembrance practice gives us some time to really open to receive, because God is sending all the time on all the stations of our being. But a lot of times we're not looking, not listening, not present with God. So this is a time of deep presence, deep opening, deep receiving of all of the gifts that God is sending in every moment. So when you're ready, we'll begin. Allah, 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 So just merging, traveling, deepening in your heart, thinking Allah on the breath. Allah, 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 Um, 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 and just relaxing, opening your heart even a little further, soaking in everything that God is sending to you. Just letting the petals of your heart fall open, like a rose, a tight rosebud that sits in the water and gently falls open. Allah, Allah, Allah. And now as we continue, we're going to chant some of the qualities to clean all of our senses. And you might just notice as we do this, if you bump into anything. So we're going to start, Ya Allah, Ya Alim, A-L-I-M, the all-knowing, to purify your mind so that we can really receive the true gnosis, the true understanding. So we'll do 7 times, Ya Allah, Ya Alim. 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 Good, just opening, receiving, merging as best as you can with the quality, the light of the quality. Absorbing it into your cells, into your being. And now we clean our hearing, Yasami, S-A-M-I, purifying our hearing so that we're only listening to Allah, only listening to God. Same thing, 7 times, Ya Allah, Ya Sami. 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 Opening, receiving, merging, absorbing. Just letting the quality in, letting it do whatever it does, tuning you up. So the next one is Ya Allah, Ya Basir, the all-seeing, to purify our eyesight to arrive at true witnessing, true looking at God, looking at Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Basir. 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 And now moving into our speech, to purify us, our speech, to speak the words that God puts in our mouth and puts on our tongue. Ya Mutakalam, Ya Mutakalam, Mutakallim, Mutakalam. Ya Allah, Ya 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 Mutakalam. Opening, merging, allowing for the divine presence to enter. And the last one we'll do is Ya Allah, Ya Jalil, the exalted. And we're going to use this to purify our hearts of things we're carrying that are not of God. Letting the quality purify. Opening, releasing, create space for the divine presence to live in our hearts. Ya Allah, Ya Jalil. 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 Okay, and when you're ready, just gently coming back. I'm going to unmute you for a moment. Anybody want to share or ask questions about that?
This is Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, and I came this morning with different feelings, some that I quickly tapped into, and I knew were there: some anger, some guilt, some deficiency feelings, and and when we first started, when I first closed my eyes and started meditating, the vision. I don't know if any of you ever saw the movie A Christmas Story with about the guy that gets the Red Ryder gun. Is that familiar to anybody? The little kid. Anyway, there's a waking dream sequence he has that his mom and his teacher he wants this gun, and his mom and his teacher are standing in the corner in his like visualization, and one's in a witch's costume and one's in a Joker's costume, saying, "You'll shoot your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out." And so I had a vision of my nest in the corner with really sharp nails, laughing and ugly faces, and saying, this is so really what it was telling me is this is what it is. These negative, bad feelings about it. And so, that was a good visual for me. And then as we did each quality, I was able to let go more and more until finally, I don't know that I've totally let go, but what I was left with at the end was this is all kind of below the meaning in the denser experience of living a human life, and that those are all that those are things, the feelings that happen and our reactions and everything, that is in a realm that I am beginning to not spend as much time in, hopefully. But that's what I got out of it, was that it was very almost black and white, that there are the two different, that there is that realm, and that's being kind of pulled and tethered to the earth and the earthly experiences. And then I was given the knowledge that that's not who I am in these higher regions, so to speak.
Yes, and you were given a way to really recognize it when it's up. And that's great, because then you can use some of the tools we've developed. Tauba is a great one for that. You can say, look, I've been caught by these pictures, by these voices, by these images. Please help me clean and return to the truth of my being. Rather than just pushing it away or knowing that it's there, we actually want to help clean it and return it.
Right. And the other thing that I got out of it too was that this is a process that I need anyway to do I don't know how many, frequently, because you get that waxy buildup of
Yes.
these feelings and experiences, and then it's, I think it takes longer to clean them, because our living human experience, we can collect a lot of that negativity along the way and not even know that we are, because there is that negativity in the world.
And I'll tell you, sometimes it takes time and sometimes it can go in an instant. So we don't want to make any pictures about how it has to move. Okay? Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you're really sincere and you're really bowed and you're really with God and you say, I no longer want to hang out here. I no longer want to be listening to this or paying attention to this. And we're really sincere. Sometimes it just goes in an instant. I mean, we don't know. Sometimes there's layers and layers and layers, and it takes time. And some.
You broke up there. I'm sorry, Cindy, you broke up a little bit. You said sometimes it goes away right away, and sometimes
it takes time. Yeah, sometimes there are layers, and sometimes there are teachings we need out of those places. And so only Allah knows, only God knows. But I like to encourage people not to make any pictures or ideas or thoughts about how it has to happen, because God can work in all sorts of different ways, and we never know.
Mm-hmm.
We never know how it's going to go.
Right.
Yeah, but good that you saw it. Yeah. Anything for you, Jane?
I think what came to me was, I've tried to call on the qualities and things like this just in my head, and and I've struggled with it and wondered why. I think that chanting really, really does help orient you.
Yeah,
much more quickly, and then you can let it go and be quiet. But for me, just starting off with it in my head, it doesn't have the same effect.
No, and that's right. And the vibration of calling it, because the Arabic language is a seed language, so it has the vibration of what we're calling to. So when we're calling these qualities, we're invoking them. We're invoking them, and there's a vibrational frequency that's like a portal into a deeper experience. And so that's why the saying it out loud, even though that's, kind of can be awkward or unfamiliar to people, but the chanting out loud really gives you a jump start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in this one, we only did 7 times. Oftentimes when we chant, we'll chant longer than that. But just even in the 7 times chanting, you can feel that the vibration helps the quality open and descend and really move in you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to review a little bit some of the other things we've talked about with the healing work. So one of them is vantage point. And we talked about that there's your self, your ego, your nafs, we call it on the Sufi path. There's your heart, which has lots of the stored memories, experiences of what's happened to you, images, feelings, sensations, reactions. Then there's your soul, which is your vaster, higher, finer, more refined being. It's also the place where we're receiving the divine qualities. And then beyond that is the secret and your spirit and God and Allah. And each of these rings of light, as we move out, is subtler and subtler, and finer and finer. So the densest being the nafs, the ego, the personality, yourself, and then moving out from there. And so if we want to really open up to the divine understanding of things, we have to move our vantage point. So if you're looking and feeling and sensing from yourself, then you're going to receive information from yourself. Okay? If your vantage point is your heart, then you'll receive information from your heart. If it's from your soul, then we'll be receiving from your soul. So each time we expand, open, raise ourselves to this higher expanded consciousness, and you can ask God to help you with that if you don't know how to do that. We let go of our point of view from the lower, and we open to receive either seeing, knowing, hearing, perceiving, impressions, images from the higher realm. So God is always trying to come through us. God is always communicating with us. God is always connected to us. Mostly we are turned away, listening to something else, looking at something else, or occupied in some other kind of way. And so we want to, that's why we always start with remembrance, helping ourselves move our vantage point from the lower world up into the higher world. Okay? So I guess we have a lot of V's this morning. We have vantage point, voices, and veils. So we talked about voices. Voices on the Sufi path, there are 3 places you can listen inside. You can listen to yourself, the voice of yourself, the nafs, the ego, the desire body. You can listen to God, to Allah, or the angelic realm, and you can listen to the darkness in the world. And the darkness in the world can be other people, other groups of energy, things that kind of amp up, especially anger, depression, fear. When you're in those places, you're a little more open to being influenced by negativity, by darker voices. And so let's do a little experience here, just tuning in to these different realms and see what you can gather about how each of them feels for you, or looks, or however it comes to you. People are all different in that way. Okay, so let's start. You can close your eyes. And let's start by just listening, looking, sensing, feeling yourself. Okay, your regular daily self, your nafs, your ego, your personality, what you like, what you don't like. Maybe there's judgments in there. Maybe there's I don't know, just having a sense of that. And I'll just give you a couple minutes to really sense into it, feel into it. And then let's gently move your vantage point into your heart. The whole heart center, in the center of your chest. Your feelings, your emotions, Maybe there's memories. Just becoming aware of your heart and what that feels like, sensing it, deepening it. And then we're going to go through the heart, through the eye of the heart, which is in the deep heart, into an experience of your soul. So just as best as you can, ask for help inside, seeing if you can tune into your soul, the light of your soul. Allah. And just spending a little bit of time here, feeling, sensing, knowing yourself as soul. And then expanding even further, asking Allah to help you have an experience of the secret of your spirit, which is larger and more refined and more subtle. Each time we move, it's subtler and subtler light. Allah, Allah, Allah. And just taking a step closer into this higher light, into this higher vantage point, this more refined aspect of your being, asking Allah to help you, asking the angelic realm to help you. And then when you're ready, just gently coming back. And I'm going to unmute you if you want to share anything or ask anything. Were you able to get a sense of the differences?
This is Deb.
Mhm.
I think, the soul level, I don't know. This is part of it. It feels like it, but it's like getting into that realm. It was, just the knowledge and the familiarity with it that I have known or felt, or I don't know what the best word is, because I'm not in it all the time, for sure. But when I got into the soul room, it was like really, really familiar.
Yeah.
And that is my, I don't know how it manifests, if it manifests as my worldview, as in the more, the heavier, the more personal, I don't know. But it's like there is a connection, a familiarity, a recognition on the soul level of what that is, and that just about being connected to all souls, and we are all one. And when I am in that energy, my visualization is like the universe, or global and all encompassing. And what I recognize is that on a day-to-day basis, I do ponder that. I don't know that I'm always in that in a more elevated way, but it's like that must be my manifesting as my belief system or something. I don't know, that I'm connected to all things. We're all one. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Good. Thanks. What about for you, Jane?
I think I'm going to have to work with it a little longer. It was really easy to get into the first two levels, but then moving to the higher levels was a little bit of a
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So let's use that and let's do some Tauba and see how that changes or shapes your experience. So you might think about what makes it a challenge for you to either reach the soul level or stay in the soul level or be more present in that world. You might think about that. And whatever you come up with, we're going to do some Tauba with it. And if you don't know what is in the way, then we're going to ask Allah to show you what's in the way. So I'll start it in that direction. And if you already know, great. If you don't know, we're going to ask. And I'm just going to mute you so you can feel free to be doing it out loud or however you want. Okay, so we're going to ask Allah, please show me, my beloved Allah, my beloved God, please show me whatever it is that's separating me from you, from your presence. Please help me turn in your direction. Please help me clean, open, return, whatever it is that's taking me away or distracting me, any fears, any doubts, any worries, any sense that I can't do it. Please help me with this. And then we'll begin first with Allah, asking the light to open, to come down, to illuminate for you whatever it might be that's in your way. Okay, whatever may be veiling, blocking, covering, distracting, turning you away from Allah. So we'll just do a little bit of remembrance, opening to that and letting God show you where to begin the Tauba. Allah, Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. So just watching where the light takes you, either feeling, seeing, knowing, hearing, however it is for you. And then when you find something, we're going to begin the Tauba. Asking God to please open, wash, clean all the ways known and unknown that you've carried and held and paid attention to something that's turning you away or taking you off of really living in the higher realms and in closer presence with Allah. Astaghfirullahaladzim, 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 astaghfirullahaladzim. Astaghfirullahaladzim, 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 astaghfirullahaladzim. And noticing how the Tauba opens the way for you. And it may be that something else will come up. If it does, then you just include that in the Tauba and keep going. We do the Tauba until the heart returns to peace or tranquility, until you're turned back to Allah. Astaghfirullahaladzim, 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 astaghfirullahaladzim. And taking a breath and just kind of noticing where you are. There may be a pain in your body or some tension. There may be a thought. There may be a picture. Whatever it is that's coming up, God is showing it to you, and it's there for cleaning, and we'll continue on with the Tauba. asking for the deep healing, the deep cleaning, and the return back to your original nature, back to the highest truth, back to the light. Astagfirullahaladzim, 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 Astagfirullahaladzim. And we can deepen the tauba here with a dua, with a prayer of our heart. My beloved Allah, my beloved God, please show me how you want me to be with this. Please fill me with your light that I might see, feel, hear, know your truth in this place where I'm sad, angry, doubtful, hopeless, stuck. We can deepen with our dua. Please help me let go of whatever's separating me from your presence. Please help me turn to you for guidance and feel your presence in every moment. Allah, please help me make the real tauba, the deep tauba, so that I can be returned. And then taking a breath, and we'll go a little further with the tauba. Astagfirullahaladzim, 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 Astagfirullahaladzim. And then just noticing what's different, what's happened during the tauba. Taking a few minutes to just be with that. And I'm going to unmute you. Any questions, comments, sharings?
For me, it felt like a very high level of vibration in my heart area.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that was healing, because I went into it, sincerely asking, and I think the journey for me has been There's a lot of resistance to begin with, and I feel that's being worked with.
Yes, it's being melted.
Yeah, and so there was just that high level of vibration in my chest area. So I'm hoping that's what it was. I mean, I believe it is.
Good. Good. Jane, anything you want to share about that?
I just know that something is shifting. I'm not, I'll have to work with this a little longer, but I think what Deb mentioned, the resistance that has been part of my spiritual journey for so long, I can hardly, I don't know when it even started, it's getting a few knocks.
Yes.
There's a shifting going on, and it's a good thing.
Yes. And yeah, and you can feel as you talk about it, I can feel in the deep the place in you that's really starting to soften.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't have words for what's happening. It's just so deep in our being. Things that we carry, things that we're sad about, things that we don't even know sometimes how they got there, what they are. We carry so much. It can be from your lineage, where you come from, your people, from the world, from experiences in our family, just from life happening. And sometimes we'll know what's being cleaned and what's being worked on, and sometimes we just consent to letting it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of trust and know that it's good, that it's in the goodness, that we've made our intention known, that we're ready to let go, that we're ready to have God work on us. And sometimes we don't even know or understand what all's being worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's totally good. Yeah. If Allah needs you to understand, it'll find you. And oftentimes how things find us, okay, this is another concept we talked about, which is the mirrors. Oftentimes how things find us is something will trigger us in our life in the world. Somebody will make us angry. Somebody will say something that hurts our heart. Maybe we feel left out. Maybe we feel not seen. Something will happen out there that will point the way in here, that will point the way into the depth of our being, into something we've been carrying that's been blocking us, that's been in the way, that's a misperception or an illusion. And something will happen, because that's how God works with us. And sometimes we'll think it's about what's happening in the moment, and only a small bit of it is about what's happening. And the rest of it is really an opportunity, if we take it, if we take our time, if we take our chance there. It's an opportunity to go in the deep to where this started and where you're holding it and carrying it, and ask God to help you clean and return it. So if we pay attention, there's probably something that happens every day that is a clue for us, or a trail, or a thread that we can follow all the way down to the core, all the way down to the beginning. Okay. So I'm going to mute you for a moment again so I can just talk a little more specifically about healing and how the healing happens. Okay, so how the healing happens. Let's say something has happened to you in the world that triggers you, and you know you're triggered because you're angry, maybe you're in fear, maybe you're having a worry, maybe you feel unseen, left out, lonely, any of these kind of human experiences of the world. And so let's say we're going to do a healing with that. Okay, so I'm going to talk us through how the healing happens. And then if we have time, we'll actually maybe pick something out and try it. Okay, so the first thing we do, the first thing I would do is say the Fatiha, okay? But for those of you who don't know it, you can just make an intention or a prayer of your own to connect with God, with the oneness, with Source. So we want to be pointed in that direction as we begin. It's you alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. So we're pointing to God and opening to God's light. And so we can start with Allah, and especially if you don't know what's going on, but you're just triggered, and you're not sure why it is you're triggered or what's at the depth of it. So we open the light first by chanting Allah, by doing the remembrance. We're opening to connect with the light that's descending from Allah. So we call Allah, Allah, Allah. The light opens, it descends, it expands your heart, and something will come forward. Something moves to the front. Now, this is different for different people. Sometimes people will hear it in their heads, what they're supposed to look at. Sometimes people will feel it in their body, like, oh, I've got a deep pain in my back, or my neck and shoulders are tight, or my heart hurts. So if you track that way, that's how it'll come to you. Some people see images or pictures or metaphors or stories. Some people have emotions. Some people hear words. Some people have direct knowing, like somebody will be speaking in their head. There's a direct knowing. Either way, something will move to the front. And so then we just want to take some time with that, allowing, being with it, not doing anything, and not using our minds to understand it or look at it. So it's helpful sometimes during this phase to just be chanting Allah, 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 or making a dua, making a prayer of intention, asking for this to open, asking to know, asking to have whatever I need illuminated, whatever it is that's causing pain, asking to have it healed, or asking for the understanding of why is it here? Why has God sent this? What is the teaching? So we're just going to sit, be in the beginning of this, chanting Allah, and then at some point, there's like a way to drop deeper, to get inside whatever the story is, whatever the holding is, whatever the feeling is. So then we're going to move inside, either with the remembrance or with the tauba. If you can't see anything or feel anything inside, it's oftentimes helpful to use the tauba to gain entry. And you can also ask Allah, please help me drop deeper into this. Please help me understand this in a deeper way. Please show me whatever you want to show me here. And again, we're just taking our time with this, and we're dropping, dropping, dropping. If something comes up, you can begin the tauba to purify whatever's covering, veiling, whatever impressions you have in here. So you can use the tauba, and that may be the end of the process for you. You may return to the peace. If you go deeper through the tauba, you can ask Allah, what are you wanting to show me? What are you wanting to teach me here? And now we have to use our deep listening of our heart, not of our mind. So we want to be careful here that the answer doesn't come from the mind. We want the mind bowed to the heart. The heart has a different kind of wisdom, a different understanding, a different way it moves and travels. So we want to listen deeply with our heart, deeply, deeply, asking with great sincerity for Allah to show you what it is here that He's wanting to show you. And then, if the healing continues, it might open. Maybe, let's say you've started with something like a place where you don't trust, where you're in fear and you don't trust and you're worried, and you use your own methods of protecting yourself and controlling and trying to take care of it. So let's say we're cleaning that. We're in the depth with that. We're opening to the teaching. And at that point where the tauba shifts, it opens into maybe the world of the soul, into what we call the Jabarut. And that's the world of the qualities. And so here God might send you the trust, the deep trust, the wakil. That's the name of the quality for the deep trust, wakil. So behind this veiled place, this stuck place, this non-trusting place, as we clean it, as we come to understand, maybe it came from childhood where people you needed to trust and wanted to trust weren't there for you. As we clean that and follow Allah, it may open then into the divine quality that was supposed to be there and was there all along, under the covering, under the veil, under the misunderstanding, the misperception. And so the quality will open up there. And then we'll just spend some time absorbing, opening, following whatever Allah shows you there. And this is called the beautification. And when the healing really goes all the way through, there'll be a purifying and a beautifying, okay? So the purifying is the tauba, or the remembrance, opening, cleaning, returning. And the beautification is when the quality descends into your being. And now, instead of the mistrust, you live in the trust. You live in the wakil. The wakil opens in you and flowers in you and blossoms in you. And you learn how to really merge with Allah's divine quality of trust. And then the healing is complete at that point. Now, sometimes when we do a healing, we'll just get one piece. Like if it was a flower, there's petals on the flower and there's the whole flower. So sometimes we're working on a petal, we're working on one issue, one piece, one layer of the issue that's in front of you. And sometimes we're working on multiple layers, and sometimes we're working the whole thing is moving. And you'll have a sense inside when the healing is really complete and really done, because there is this sense of coming into a different understanding, a different vantage point, an upliftment. Something will happen, the quality may descend, that you'll know the healing has completed. Okay, so I'm gonna unmute you for questions. Was that clear? Did you have an understanding of the healing process?
That was helpful for me. I guess I don't always know. I suppose being more of a novice at this, I don't always know if I've done it right, if I actually am feeling anything, because you know me, Cindy. It's kind of like confidence and self-doubt.
The doubt, yeah, doubt is one of your things, yeah, to make a project of in terms of cleaning.
But there are times when I am really confident about what I have felt and what has shifted.
Yes, and if you aren't, you just continue to ask for help, continue to ask Allah to open it for you, to clean it. You can say, my beloved Allah, please make this more clear for me. I'm not sure if I'm really getting it. I'm not sure. We're in dialogue all the time, and you don't have to do it out loud. Allah's listening inside. Allah's listening all the time in the deep. So if you're not sure, you're inside saying, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Can you help make this a little more clear for me? And then you can just do remembrance there. Just do the Allah, 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 and see where Allah takes you with it. So the thing we want to avoid is trying to squeeze it with our minds, because the mind wants to jump in oftentimes and tell us what's happening, what's going on. And so the more you can just say, my beloved Allah, please make it clear. Please help me. Please show me. I don't know. I don't know is a great prayer. You say, I don't know, you do, please help me. And we want to be polite in the asking of Allah. We want to be, polite. We're not demanding anything. We're just saying, my beloved, please, please help me. Please show me. Please take me along because I don't get it, or maybe you get some part of it, but you can feel it's not quite right. It's not quite clear. There's something not sitting right with you. So we're always in dialogue inside, and you can deepen your experience just by talking to Allah and asking for the help, asking for whatever you're needing in there. As soon as you're forming the question, the answer is already sent. Allah is listening all the time to all your particulars. And the more you practice this, the more you come to believe that. The more that really starts to be the truth for you. Yeah. Other questions, comments about the process?
No, it was clear, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, good. It's a lot. I mean, I thought about these 5 weeks and I'm throwing a lot at you. So I really honor your ability to stick with it, to keep opening to new material, to trying it out, because it's a lot. You know, I've been with it for quite a while, so I forget sometimes how there's many new things being offered here. And they do take time and practice. It does take practice. But these tools, these healing tools, are really going to be of benefit to you. Because we live in a troubled world right now, and things happen daily that we need to be with and clean and sort out and get guidance about. And so developing our connection with God, with Allah, with the oneness is probably our most important task right now. Yeah. Well, good. Anything else for today, and anything that you want me to address next week?
For me, it would be, I don't know. For me, and I think, Jane, you mentioned this too, the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one for me. And then, the self-doubt.
Yes.
I think what came up for me today when you said we're going to go do this deep healing, immediately I was given the knowledge of part of the resistance is I don't always want to do the process because I'm sure I already know what Allah is going to tell me about me, and it's not that I can have the desires of my heart. Somehow that ties into the old tapes about sufficiency, like I don't deserve or whatever. So sometimes I want to avoid the practice or the process because I fear that Allah is going to show me something I don't want to see, or something like that.
Yes.
So I mean,
good.
I don't
Good.
know if
So
that's something to further look at, or what. I think that has more to do with leaving this earthly life sort of not behind, but like be in it but not of it, and how we do that. And it's scary to think about changing a lot. I mean, much about my life and my patterns aren't helpful and cause me pain, but it's that
but
attitude.
it's known.
We hang on to what we don't, because it's a habit and because we know it is familiar.
Yeah.
So that's more psychological. But if there's any way we could kind of address that, I would think that would be common for most who are new to it.
Yes.
Does that resonate for you, Jane?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, absolutely. Resistance is everybody's deal, and doubt and avoidance, and we want change, but do we really want change?
Right.
Some parts of us want to change, and some parts of us really want to stay the same. Like, whatever habits and patterns we've developed, some of them we like. We want to keep them. And so I'll tell you the funny thing about the resistance, to really taking this on and doing it. Allah's teaching you either way. So you can open to it, you can resist it, you can butt your head right against it. But C.D. used to say, the guide would say, if it's for you, it's not going to miss you. And what that means is it's going to show up in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to show up in your life. It's going to trigger you. You can resist all you want, but there it is. And so in this process, we're really just bowing and opening and saying, okay, here it is. Here it is. Please help me. You know,
But that assumes that you know, when we're, like you said, it's for us. So do you mean that it's going to come to us whether we're on the Sufi path or not?
That's
Probably.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And yes, and these things can cause pain, not because God is punishing you. That's not it. Because there's opportunity in those places. Pain is a great motivator. Pain oftentimes will call your attention right to something. And so what Allah wants is your freedom, you know, the love, the mercy, the peace, the freedom, you know. And so we're going to be called to those places that aren't in alignment with that really need the healing, need the opening. And oftentimes we're called through pain, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, intellectual pain. Oftentimes we're called in that way if we're not already volunteering to go. All right, well, thank you for that, and I will prepare something for us for next week on resistance and doubt and how to be with change. So that's great, thank you. All right, nice to be with you all this morning.
Okay, thanks, Cindy. Bye,
We'll see
Jane.
you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.